Hello everyone, welcome to Crafty Hand Studio Backstage. In this video, part one of our first backstage project, I'll talk about the idea for the song, a little about the chord structures I use, and show you how my projects are created initially on the acoustic piano. This is my recording setup for the acoustic piano. This was our dining area until I decided to create this series of videos. I'm new to video, so the setups are experimental and improvised. I'll be doing a separate review of the gear I'm using later. So let's get on with making our first song. Oh, there's DB Dog, ready to help. She is a faithful audio engineer and has not missed a session in 5 years. So this is where I start all my music projects, at the piano. I play this piano every day, sometimes for just a few minutes and sometimes for hours. It's a Yamaha C1 Baby Grand, and it was a gift to me from my lovely wife Mindy, who made it a requirement of our marriage that I play the piano for her always, something I've been more than happy to do for 11 years now. As I mentioned, the microphones, cameras, and recorders I'm using, I'll detail in another video in building a home studio section of the website. But I will mention here that I'm trying this microphone for the vocals while I wait for a shotgun mic that I've ordered, and we'll just hope for the best. I think it should work out fine. My compositions always start out as chords. I very rarely hear a melody first and then put chords to it. Almost everything I do is based on chords. Stan calls these Frank chords because they're sort of unusual, and the naming structure for chords would be very wacky. I tend to use a lot of suspended chords. Now, the way that works is any major chord is the root, a major third, and a fifth normally. This is your basic tertian chord. I like to suspend the chord by raising the major third to a fourth. So C major becomes C sus4. I use suspended chords for almost everything. Of course, there are other chords that I use, but almost everything I've done that makes it unique involves suspended chords. I'll take for example, E flat major chord, make it an E flat suspended, and then combine it with a C suspended. I really like the built-up polyphony of all those different notes. So I combine suspended chords all over the place. I'll just doodle a little. So that's the basic theory behind how I compose using chords and using suspended chords. Our first project is called Leaving. I titled it based on the experiences of my life recently. I assume that most inspirations are based on people's life's experience. I characterize the emotions in this song as pretty much questioning, resignation, some sadness in the verses, and definitely anger in the center section. Here's how the first verse goes, based on these chords, which, by the way, were used in a song I wrote like 40 years ago for Happy the Man called Leave That Kitten Alone, Armand. In the big built-up center section of that, it goes... something to that effect. Anyway, I take this first chord and I find this melody in it. Okay, so here we go. Of course, this is where the big built-up middle part starts, where I feel angry. I hear a huge layered orchestration here, some kind of electronic sounds, big drums. I'm going to have to work on getting some drum tracks made in MIDI. That'll be fun. Of course, the best thing to do would be call Bill Brasso in to cover the drumming. But the live room is full of gear now, and it wouldn't be practical. Maybe someday the tune will be recorded with a band, but for now it's solo work. So here's the middle section. kind of reprise the initial melody there at the end, let it pile up. I like to leave that kind of tension in the close seconds in the chord. I think I'm hearing maybe fluty sounds for the lead, especially in the first iterations of the melody. And then maybe at the end we'll change it to a different voice to represent the kind of change that big angry part could bring on to you. So that's the rough map for the tune. I hope you enjoyed watching this first part, and I hope you'll come back next week for part 2, where we take this and put it into the computer to get ready to start arranging it. Goodbye for now. Be careful out there. Listen to music. It will make you better.